This is WFYI News Now. It's May 7th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, an identification requirement finally takes effect. A new board will guide decisions on how district and charter schools can share resources. And a report shows half of Americans have been breathing in dangerous levels of pollution between 2021 and 2023.
Which just highlights the urgent need for us to protect public health from the impacts of pollution.
Those stories coming up, but first. Indianapolis-based pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly broke ground Tuesday on its $4.5 billion facility in Lebanon. The Lilly Medicine Foundry will be a research and development facility located at the Leap Industrial District in the city, northwest of Indy. Lilly's planned investment in the area tops more than $13 billion. The new site will primarily focus on manufacturing medications and distributing them to patients. Lilly officials say the facility will allow them to make new medicines more efficiently and with greener methods. Indiana Governor Mike Braun and Lilly CEO Dave Ricks attended the groundbreaking ceremony. Local residents and leaders have criticized the Leap District in recent years. Much of their criticism surrounds questions of adequate water resources to support the district and a lack of transparency from the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. It may become more difficult to board commercial flights or to enter some federal buildings beginning Wednesday without what's called a real ID. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Brandon Smith explains the identification requirement is finally taking effect.
The quickest way to know whether your current driver's license or state ID card is real ID compliant is to look for a star in the top right corner. If it's not there, you'll need a trip to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. You'll need a document to prove your identity and legal status, such as an unexpired U.S. passport, birth certificate, or certain citizenship, naturalization, or permanent resident forms. You'll also have to show your Social Security number. That can be with a Social Security card, a W-2 or 1099 tax form, or a pay stub with your full Social Security number on it. And you'll have to present 2 documents to prove Indiana residency. That's a long list that includes utility, credit card, or medical bills with your name and address, a voter ID card, bank statements, insurance policies, or property tax bills. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
If you need to fly or enter a federal building with a real ID and don't have one yet, some other forms of ID are acceptable, including a U.S. passport. If you're a parent in the city, your voice could help shape the future of Indianapolis Public Schools. Mayor Joe Hogsett and the district are forming a new board to guide decisions on how the district and charter schools can share resources. From WFYI's Education Desk, Sydney Dauphiné has more.
The Indianapolis Local Education Alliance will be responsible for shaping plans on how IPS could manage sharing buildings and transportation among charter schools in the city. ILEA was recently established by the Indiana State Legislature when the governor signed a bill that requires IPS to share resources with charter schools. Superintendent Alicia Johnson is looking to appoint 2 parents. One is a parent of a student in a traditional IPS school. The other is a parent of a student in an innovation school. That's an independent or charter school within the district. Hogsett is appointing 4 members. Nominations are accepted until May 11th. Participation requires at least 5 hours a month between June and the end of this year. That's when the group is expected to finish the plan. I'm Sydney Dauphiné.
And for our final story today, half of all Americans have been breathing in dangerous levels of air pollution between 2021 and 2023. That's according to a new report from the American Lung Association. Side Effects Public Media's Ben Thorpe reports the Indianapolis metro area, which includes Carmel and Muncie, ranked 11th worst in the country for annual particle pollution out of 208 metro areas.
The annual report found that the number of people living in an area that received a failing grade on at least one measure of air pollution rose by about 25 million nationwide. The report looked at particle pollution and the number of high ozone days, which comes from things like pollutants from cars and factories. Tiffany Nichols is with the American Lung Association. She says higher average temperatures due to climate change and the 2023 wildfires contributed to worsening air quality.
Which just highlights the urgent need for us to protect public health from the impacts of pollution.
Nichols says the findings should worry Americans, especially as the Trump administration has looked to roll back the regulatory power of the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm Ben Thorpe.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin and Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.